Following in the footsteps of past MCU outings, Ant-Man and the Wasp wouldn't be complete without a couple of post-credit scenes. As per usual, one scene provides hints towards the next chapter in the MCU, while the other is nothing more than a short gag that ties into the movie itself. Before I go any further with this, it should go without saying that this video contains major spoilers for Ant-Man and the Wasp. And though I'm assuming that just about everyone has seen Infinity War by now, I should also warn that there will be some major spoilers for that one too. This video is not designed to spoil the movie for people who haven't seen it, but to provide a commentary for those who have. If you proceed to watch this having not seen the movies, don't blame me for spoilers, that one's on you. Have some self-constraint, let's do it. Firstly, I'm going to talk about the second post-credits scene and get that one out of the way. During the movie, Scott is kidnapped by Hank and Hope to assist in a rescue mission of Janet. Because Scott is supposed to be on house arrest, Hank and Janet leave a fill-in for Scott in his house. A giant-sized ant who has been fitted with Scott's ankle tracker and has been pre-programmed to act out Scott's daily movements. Throughout the movie, we see this giant ant taking a bath, chilling in bed, and just kind of like lounging around on the couch. In the movie's second post-credits scene, which comes right at the very end of the credits, we're treated to a very short clip of the ant playing the electronic drum kit, which we earlier saw Scott fooling around on during his house arrest. This clip was strangely already featured in one of the movie's trailers, so it was most likely originally meant to be part of the main bulk of the movie, before being chopped out and whacked in the end credits. Again, this is probably nothing all that important and just a small gag to keep you laughing as you leave the cinema, but I will come back to this as it may relate to the first scene in some small way. I mean, I might be reaching, but we'll come back to it. Talking of the first scene, let's talk about the first scene. Coming around 2 minutes into the movie's credits, we get quite a substantial scene which runs around 2 minutes in itself. We see Hank, Janet, Scott and Hope on the rooftop of a high-rise building in San Francisco, where they've set up a miniaturized version of Hank's quantum tunnel that is small enough to fit into the back of Luis's van. Having found a way to control and regulate quantum travel, the team are prepping Scott to go subatomic into the quantum realm in an effort to collect quantum healing particles in a collection unit, which they believe should aid in curing their new ghost friend's affliction. Hank and Hope fire up the quantum tunnel and send Scott into the quantum realm. After a quick mic check between Scott and Hank's radio communication device, Scott opens the collection unit and begins collecting particles. With his mission done, Scott calls for the team to bring him back. Janet begins to prepare him for re-entry and starts counting down from 5. After she reaches 3, the radio communication goes silent. Scott begins to chuckle as he thinks the team are messing around with him at first, but the longer the communication stays silent, the longer Scott begins to grow more worrisome. We are then taken back to the rooftop in San Fran, where we see 3 billowing piles of ash floating around where Hank, Janet and Hope once stood. On the ground is the radio communication device, from which we can hear Scott now in a deep panic shouting, "Guys, don't joke around! Bring me up!" We then cut back to credits. It's worth mentioning that following the second post-credit scene, the words Ant-Man and the Wasp will return with a question mark appear on the screen. Well, obviously they will, judging by this interview with Evangeline Lilly.
We wrapped on the Avengers in December of this past year.
And also judging by this set photo from Avengers 4, but we'll come back to this in due course. Now, there's a whole lot of stuff to unbundle here. Obviously, this scene alludes to the fateful finale of Avengers Infinity War, where half of the universe's population are decimated by Thanos' almighty finger click. It seems that with this movie taking place practically concurrently with Infinity War, Thanos' clique has eradicated Hank, Hope, and Janet. Poor woman spends 30 years in the quantum realm only to be turned into ash upon her return. That sucks. This is not only a tie into Infinity War, but also into the upcoming Avengers 4, releasing in 2019. While these 3 join our other disappeared heroes, Scott, who has previously been rumoured to be the one to help the remaining Avengers free the lost ones, now appears to be stuck inside the quantum realm. This now opens up a whole new can of worms, or is that can of ants? Nah, that's a can of worms. We are now left wondering how on earth Scott will free himself from the quantum realm in order to assist the Avengers in their plight. One might guess that the Avengers could free him, but how would they know that he's there? I guess that only leaves maybe Luis, Bill Foster, and Ghost, whose real name we learn is Ava. We've heard no confirmation of Luis, Foster, or Ava returning, but these 3 seem to be the only ones who might know of this mission. With Bill having restored his friendship with Hank, there is every possibility he may be able to use his knowledge of quantum travel to free Scott and assist in the recovery of the missing heroes. Perhaps with the assistance of Ava, who, judging by the term our friend Ghost, is clearly now on the side of the heroes. There is also a possibility that, now with a greater control of the ants, Scott could call on the ants and maybe even the giant guy to help assist in his escape. But this seems a little bit far-fetched, and assuming that this scene takes place a little while after the main bulk of the movie, I wouldn't imagine that the giant guy is still just like chilling around Scott's house while Scott is free from house arrest. It doesn't make sense to me. There's also some mention of a time vortex in the quantum realm, which Janet warns Scott to stay away from. This is a place which rescue isn't possible. I don't believe that this is just some random thing. With Marvel, everything is said and done for a reason, and there's quite clearly some connection with the time vortex and Avengers 4, especially considering that time travel has been a highly rumored plot device in the movie. There are two interesting possibilities here. Scott could possibly use the time vortex to aid in his escape of the quantum realm to an earlier point in time, perhaps the Battle of New York from Avengers 1, which would explain these on-set pics. From here, he could send Avengers from the past subatomic and into the present via the time vortex. Another possibility is that after he has been freed from the quantum realm, Scott teams up with the remaining Avengers, and from there they all go subatomic and travel into the past together via the vortex, perhaps to the Battle of New York from Avengers 1, which again would explain these on-set pics. This could all, of course, be possible with the use of these strange hand devices that the Avengers seem to be wearing in these pictures. However, I didn't notice anything that looked like these in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Either of these options do seem quite likely, but I'm not too sure which one I'd lean more towards at this point. But with the time stone out of the hands of our heroes, it seems that this time vortex is really the only thing that could aid in this supposed Avengers 4 time travel plot, especially given the knowledge our heroes now have of quantum travel. My guess is that Bill will have to aid in the quantum travel, since he's the only one with the same knowledge Hank has. I'd also love to see him appear as Goliath on the big screen, but that just might be a pipe dream at this point. I mean, in saying all this, it hasn't even been officially announced that Laurence Fishburne will be back for another movie, so who knows. I'm also not too sure how or if Ava will return, but I'd love to see how they can further flesh out her character, free from her affliction or not. And once again, there's been no official confirmation of Hannah John-Kamen returning for another movie. And with that, that is all the speculating I've got in me for one video. What do you guys think? Agree with what I had to say? Disagree with all of it? Fire away in the comments down below. If this is the first of my videos you've seen, you've enjoyed it, you'd like to see more videos like this in the future, then please hit that big old subscribe button up on your screen right now. If you are feeling extra generous, then please don't forget to hit that like button down below. It does a great deal in getting my videos out there. Until next time though guys, thanks for watching and I hope you have a marvelous day. Excelsior!